Hello, one and all, and welcome back to another thrilling episode Off the Dome. I'm your humble interviewer, Jordan Brown. With me for the very first time is our stupendous stepdad. It's our favorite Galir, and also a phenomenal photographer. Say hi, phenomenal photographer.
Hello, intrepid interviewer. I was going to say something else, but I was like, I think that's the way to go.
I
Intrepid
love it.
interviewer.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Kate, thank you so much. This is so exciting. Long in the making.
Oh,
You
so
are,
much. I
you
really
are
gave you the runaround with the
You're
schedule, didn't
very
I?
busy,
I'm so
as it
sorry.
turns out. No, no, no. I'm so excited. I have a big, important question for you right out of the gate. Have you been playing any Lana Craft Tomb Runner lately?
You're amazing. That is a very special video. And I still have the costume, and I had this whole set deck ready to go to pitch to the BBC for a young Lara Croft. Didn't get it in time. But what a blast. My dad sent me the camcorder with a tape and everything, old school, and my mom helped me film it. Really a team effort. Incredible.
So that's so incredible. Yeah, you
I'm
have.
so glad I did a deep dive on you too.
Oh no, I don't
Yeah,
know
I know
what.
stuff about you too. It's great.
That's frightening.
That now you know how we feel.
Yes, but I'm supposed to. This
Oh
is really
yeah.
exciting. You've done a ton of incredible work for Dropout. I look the only not the only. I think the biggest benefit to this getting delayed, is we can talk about Ellie and her one tone look because
Wow.
it's one of my favorite things I've ever seen and so deeply upsetting. What was it like day of?
First of all, if you've ever known anyone that's fully bleached their hair, it is an incredible process. So Ellie, the unbelievable champion, really lent in hard to this, and I'm so glad that she was willing to go through all of this because as a photographer, we all have little dreams of things we want to shoot. And for some reason, a monochrome, just the with one hair look, it didn't matter what color. Oh my gosh, I was dying for it. But then with Ellie and the contacts that they have, I would love to send you a document with all the credits you can put up because everyone deserves to have their name read for this. It was stunning. I wasn't creeped out one bit. I was just in absolute awe that I get to do this. How amazing. And the photos are so iconic. I really want to put some up in my house to scare people.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
should.
I think I should.
There's they're so good. And just yeah, that was such a fun show. Well, first of all, you are the I don't know what your title actually is. Official photographer for Dropout.
I
Look,
don't know.
I was busy watching 12-year-old YouTube videos today.
That's amazing. I was watching all of your YouTube videos too, so now we're mutual fans of each other. I love it.
Yes.
Um, what was your question? I legit got lost in the
What's
the
your
wonder of
actual title
YouTube.
for Dropout?
Thank you. It's set photographer on most of the shows. Sometimes it will be logged or credited as key art photographer because I do both of those jobs. And funnily enough, in an upcoming episode of two of something you've definitely heard of that I absolutely cannot talk about, I was given the opportunity to do BTS video as well, which was so much fun. Absolute
That's super
blast.
cool. That's
Yeah,
super
so
cool.
photographer. I've been Dropout's
Yes.
photographer for about 3 years. And we're expanding so fast now. There is a team being built up of other people because we're starting to film two shows at the same time. And as much as I would love to double dip, that's not really possible. So
Man, how will you choose which set you want to go to?
that would be an impossible task for me. I'm very fortunate that that decision is made for me.
Oh, good, good.
And that's made by the producers and the directors, and mostly by Paula Searing and Andrew Brigham, who are the marketing and the graphic designer, the lead graphic artist on everything. And there were two shows happening, and they said, we really want you on this one specifically. And I was like, I'm honored. Let's do it. So we got this wonderful photographer named Jill. Again, I'd love to send you a document with everyone's socials so people can
Absolutely.
reach out if you got work for these people. They're incredibly talented. And Jill came in and shot an episode that I was unable to shoot because I was in it.
Very fun. Yeah, I was gonna say you've been in quite a few episodes now.
I'm so fortunate.
You were in Beat the Buzzer. You are in oh no, I was is it for a oh no whatever the one where you took
I
a
got a
thousand
little
pictures of Becca's feet. That one. I don't know the name of it.
that one. That one, the one that was such a blur. I was so nervous. If you watch that back, I fully walked on stage with Annie Lennox mixed with Edna Mode vibes. And then I just immediately crumpled under the weight. And I was like, it's okay. We're not going to use these actual pictures. We're going to have a separate session where, I'm able to edit these and stuff. And they were like, no, it's funnier if it's the raws. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, that is funny. But it was great. Honestly, if those photos were high quality in focus and well posed, not within 30 seconds on a stage, Becca would have needed a lot more money for those. So I
Yeah,
think it worked out
certainly.
for the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It certainly, I'm sure, helped her wiki feet rating. A thing that is, I'm really excited because I think I'm going to get a Becca interview pretty soon, and I'm excited to ask
Excellent.
her about that specific series of events because absolutely wild. And then she came in to pose in Beat the Buzzer. She saw you and just immediately like jumped into it. Like, can I hang out?
Oh my gosh. I wrote a response to this because I needed to share with the world just how terrifying Becca is. She is the most beautiful, kind, warm, intelligent, small woman who you do not want to cross. And it's incredible. So I gotta tell you right here it is. Uh, where's the word crumbled? I wrote it down. I was nervous, so I made sure I had some answers ready. There it is. Um, so you had a question for me, which was,
I think that's generous. I think I
it was
just said
basic. It was about the buzzer game, right?
yes, Beat the Buzzer. Yes, when Becca
And
jumped
that,
in.
like, how was it pitched to me? So, first of all, it was incredible. And Chloe Badner's team slayed. They took over the whole studio. It's a complex studio to move around, and there's like small hallways and small staircases. And the whole team just made every single area accessible. That mirror maze was unbelievable. So I was up in a side room, up in the green room, and all of the talents are very used to seeing me pop up on the stage in like a random corner to do key art, or maybe I'm photographing some merch or something. So they're used to me being there and they're used to sessions happening. And I usually like a nice clear set when I'm taking photos. So it's just one on one with me and the person. So they thought it would be a great idea to put me as a bodyguard for this room. I'm shooting photographs. You can't interrupt. And I was like, great, I can absolutely keep anyone out of here until it was Becca. Because Becca, she can read me like a book. And she just said, no, I don't believe you. And I was like, well, I'm the worst bouncer ever.
That's super fun. I'm so not upset, but Becca just shared. You had recently posted a really cool story about like building your dreams, and Becca shared like you're one of the most talented, brilliant people she's ever worked with. And I
I didn't
wish I could.
see that.
I wish I had the exact language of it because it was now 24 hours ago, and so the
And I
story
didn't
is
see it at
gone.
all.
I'm so
No.
sorry.
Well, thank you for telling me. God, I love
It
Becca
was
so much. She's amazing.
yes, yes. But it was a really cool thing that you did, which I feel like it feels like a thing that a lot of dropout folks do, but a side of vulnerability in terms of your art. That it isn't just like it's not just all beat the buzzer glamour shots. There is a lot of lonely hard work as well. Um, uh, um, uh, yeah, this is I don't know if this is a question. Why is that? Why do you feel like that's an important aspect to share of what you do?
What aspect in particular?
Just the amount of work that goes into it. No, but like the
Oh,
like I think specifically I
yeah.
was thinking about like the like it's a lot of long lonely hours of
Yeah,
work.
it absolutely is. And I'm as a creative yourself, and I'm sure there's a lot of creatives and neurodivergents watching this. I've lived a lot of different lives. I've had a lot of different jobs. And there is nothing, I don't know how to say this without sounding cheesy. There is nothing like Dropout. Everyone is so locked in and focused on their passion and doing what they love we will be at work and the day can be going long because something happened externally that wasn't part of production and now we're delayed. Everyone's tired and hungry and sweaty, but everyone is still in such a great mood because we're surrounded by such good people. And all of the art and the process that goes into it, that really is a testament to the passion that is applied through talent. It's like everyone said, okay, this job didn't work for me, that job didn't work for me. What do I want to do? And now they're getting to do it at Dropout. Dropout is so good at finding people at the top of their game and then just boosting them even higher. It's incredible. There is not a single person there who is not so grateful to be there and giving it everything they got. So yeah, there were some nights there where I was learning how to do product photography where I spent 12 hours alone steaming 40 sweaters. And, I took care of myself like you learn to as an older neurodivergent. I had a good show on, I had some snacks, I had tea, but it gets to you after a while. But then as soon as you hit that moment of this is too hard, I just want to sleep, you remember what you're doing and who you're doing it for. And you get this second wind like you've never had in your life. I've chosen so many sleepless nights to get what I want out. I've already completed the brief being given to me, but there are just some other photos I know someone's going to love. I'm going to stay up a few extra hours just so I can sprinkle those in as well. And it has been worth it every single time. Every single being 30 years old, having 2 hours of sleep, feeling hungover for the next 4 days has been worth it because then the art's there, the work's there, and it's the passion. It really is. And
That's
everyone
so cool.
encourages that in each other.
I
Yeah.
love that so much.
Mm.
Oh man, I have like six questions in a row, but let's start at the beginning. How did you get involved with Dropout?
That is a great question. That's a really great question. So, personally, I worked at Geek and Sundry for a long time. I was a talent. I was playing games, improv with Becca, with Erica, with Iffy, like a bunch of crew that you still see on Dropout. So I became friends with them through that. Shortly after Geek and Sundry became something else, I really lent into my photography. I just found I loved it. I was a content creator before, I was a videographer. I've dabbled in directing and writing, but photography just felt like so much fun being able to capture just that one moment that maybe no one else saw. There's such magic in that. So I was leaning into this passion. And my friend, my dear, dear friend, I owe her my life, Ash Minnick, dear personal friend of mine, she recommended me to Dropout when they needed a photographer. And I got called in for a one-off job. It was one day. I honestly don't even remember what the first job was. It was such a blur. I was so focused on just doing a really good job. Um, it was shortly before Coffin Run, because Coffin Run is the first one that's locked into my mind. And I went and I did the job and I came home and I thought, wow, this is great. This community is amazing. The projects they're working on. I've heard of Dropout. I've watched Dropout stuff, but I wasn't a fan yet. And I think that was perfect because then when I was coming in to photograph all of these major celebrities, I'm the perfect dumb photographer. It's like, hey, how you doing? My name's Kate. What's your name? And I feel like that set us off on a good equal basis. And I have not gone back yet. They keep calling me back, and it's the best thing ever. Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, I was just thinking one of the things that I really love is so at some point I've got added to like the Dropout press list, so I get press releases and things,
Yes.
and almost always your photographs are attached as part of it's like the key art for the season of like here's a picture a professional picture of Tommy Shrigley or whomever. That's the one that I will always remember because
Yes, it's so amazing.
opening that attachment, I was just like, oh, what is this show gonna
What
be?
is this?
Yeah. Um, uh, but yeah, it's always so exciting because I should say I'm always so devastated when it's not included because I'm like, no, where are my professional photographs?
Can
I
I tell
want to
you,
see.
Jordan?
Yes.
I'm the same way. I open that email, I'm like, which one did they use? Yes, that one. That's a great choice. Same. That joy extends over here as well. I'm so glad
Yeah.
you enjoy that. It's so fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. I will say this is really fun thing that I got to do with speaking of the like Tommy Shrigley and a few other ones from that first season of VIP. Um, there's a really talented artist, Julia Stark, who I'm friends with, and she was drawing fan art every week. And so at some point I was like, hey, I could send you a couple of pictures, so like you could get like a head start on drawing. It's like I sent her your photos as reference for like the Tommy Shrigley episodes. Like she had them like before the episode aired, so that she could like so that she was almost done by the time like the episode aired and could have it up like super fast. It was
That's brilliant. Can I see that?
yes, absolutely.
Great. We'll do a
Yeah,
little file exchange. I'll send you some
yes,
photos if you. I saw that in your videos you didn't like do pop-ups or anything, but maybe it'd
yeah.
be worth it for this one if I send you
I
some
mean,
good files.
it absolutely would be worth
Great.
it. I'm getting better about doing it on social,
Mm.
editing in photographs.
Ah.
Yeah, I
Well,
really
here's a
need to.
fun one. I'll do to you what everyone does to Sam. Here's the L photos right here. And then here's some really cool photos from Nobody Asked. All right, moving on.
Perfect. Yeah, now I have to do it.
I have to.
Yeah, I just really need to hire an editor, but
You do.
I've had a bunch of people that have like offered to like do it for free, and I'm like, no, I refuse. Like,
Yeah.
I have to be able to pay you, and I can't pay you yet. So please. But yes, it's theoretically coming. But yeah, now I have to get L photos and nobody asked us. Yeah, it's also really fun. And you mentioned Chloe.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun, like when they're designing sets that are so vibrant and colorful. To just get to go shoot at those locations.
That unattractive face I just pulled is exactly. I'll give it to you again. That's what it feels like when I walk into a colorful set because I know everything is going to be stellar. Just pure eye candy left and right. It is a delightful feast for a photographer, for anyone who's visual, really. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
nearly
It's
spoiled something. That was so close. There's some really cool stuff coming up with really cool lights and fog and
very exciting.
explosions. You'll have to check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I mean, look, I won't speculate as to what, but I did talk to Chloe pretty recently. It was
Yeah.
after they'd filmed the most recent season of Game Changer, and they said that there was a moment that they were sitting on a balcony and they were crying
Mm-hmm.
because like the work that they had done was so like stunning and beautiful and meaningful to them.
Mm-hmm.
That we know is coming. So
Yeah,
that's very
something,
exciting. Yes,
something.
yes, something. But
Your
yeah,
cough.
as they like, I mentioned Tommy Shrigley. That art. I mean, look, what they did, what they do at VIP, because when we're recording this, it's Tuesday, I think. It's a little bit of a blur to me. But Thursday is the Paul F. Tompkins episode where he is in a full slug costume. The things that they do over at that show are wild. I mean,
So
I
glad
assume
you
it's
mentioned that. I'm so glad. I'm so sorry. I'm so glad that Paul
yes.
announced that because I wanted to tell you that that was my favorite moment. There were so many incredible moments. Shooting Vic was obviously top moment of my life, but there was one character on set where we had gallons and gallons and gallons of slime. And I was like, what's going on here, guys? We get to find out.
Yeah. Oh, that's super fun. Yeah, I was like this won't come out until after that episode airs. So anything you
Oh,
say about that
great.
episode, you're good to go.
I hope the pictures of what happened to Vic are used. Let's just say that.
I can't wait. Yeah, it's I just what is it? I mean, that has to be because they're still human, kind of. But like, is it a different challenge as a photographer to go in to be like, oh, I have to shoot someone with so much prosthetics on, and
You know what's weird? I actually think it's easier because there's such guidelines in place. Like if I'm shooting talent for a TTRPG, I bring them in, I ask them what they're passionate about and excited about for the day, and then I ask about their character. And so I'll get some shots of them as, it's me, and then I'll get some as like whatever character they're playing. When someone walks out in a full costume like that, we got one move. And that's just put them in front of the light and go, do your character. It's so easy for me and so much fun. And if we get enough time, it gets pretty wild. Things start getting climbed on. People are doing splits they shouldn't be doing in their costumes. It's a blast.
yeah, I guess that does make sense. That like, yeah, for like one of the other things that I, I don't know why I just because it's part of the video that you shared. I was like, why did I just see
Yeah.
the make some noise behind when you were doing like photo shoots like Pete Holmes and folks? Those have to be obviously, yeah, like you're giving direction of like do a thing, like make a face or whatever.
Yeah. And that's great. You know, I love doing that. There's very different talent that come in. Someone will come in and just start posing, and it's like, we're good to go. Someone will come in and say, I'm a little uncomfortable. So we'll work out some poses. They'll usually warm up. And, you know, there's a lot of different ways to approach people. When you have like Ben Schwartz and Pete Holmes, you let them do them. And then at the end, you say, we have this idea for some concept art. Here is our board. Here are some examples of what I would like to get from you. Are you comfortable with that? And every single time, can I swear?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, fuck yeah, let's do that. So that's exactly what happened. And I love those photos. Sorry, just
No, no, no.
amazing.
Swear
And
away.
what a dream. Selfishly for me, what a dream. I am such a big fan of everyone that comes through the door. But Pete Holmes in particular is a very special place in my heart. And I am very, very pleased to report he is even more lovely in person than he is on TV. And he's the nicest dude. And that's another bonus of this is you get to meet your heroes and not be pleasantly surprised. Just be like, oh, good. This is the world we
Yeah.
live in. Fantastic. What a blast. What an honor. I can't believe I get to do this. I love it so
Um,
much.
yeah, well deserved though. Like you are
Oh,
so incredibly talented at what you do. Like it's like, the reason why I've been hounding you for an interview for like 8 months is because you're incredibly good at it. Like
I'm
I
so.
wanted to talk about this. This is not that was not meant to be like it's taken too long. That was meant to be a compliment.
Oh no,
Great.
I heard that. That was very sweet, and I'm so honored. You are my first interview for this.
Oh,
And, you
amazing.
know, if you met a lot of photographers, we're used to making ourselves invisible in the shadows. So it's so fun to be able to talk passionately about this.
Yeah, I am actually really curious about that in terms of like you are often like hiding whatever, like taking pictures of things. And I talked to Kevin Stiller, DP, for a bunch of the shows, and he specifically talked about it was the Game Changer episode, Yes or No, where Brennan goes into like his full rant of I cannot win. I believe before your time, but he said he was laughing so hard he had to let go of his camera because his footage was going to be unusable. Are there moments on set like that for you where you are like,
Literally
oh,
every day. My shutter speed is up high. I'm used to catching fast moving objects, but if they're moving and I'm moving, it's game over. VIP is very hard to shoot. Make some noise is very hard to shoot. There's probably BTS footage of me on set just collapsing to the floor because I can't breathe anymore and I need a minute. It, who gets to go to work and laugh? What a delight. It's so silly and some really, really, you just never know. Like how Chloe said, you just never really know what's going to happen. And that's very exciting for neurodivergence. It's like, what challenge today? I can't wait. Oh,
yeah, that's great. Can I also say how excited I am that you said you're neurodivergent because there's a thing that happens that I think everyone assumes everyone at Dropout is neurodivergent, and then they diagnose them. I'm like, you guys got to stop. You got to
no, because
stop.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like-minded people tend to cluster. So when neurodivergents cluster, I call that a cluster fuck. And if a lot of people, you go to them, you say, hey, I think I might be, and they go, yeah, duh, that's called a peer review. Yeah.
So, all right. So, are there any moments that pop out for you of like you said, VIP is really hard to shoot. Are there any episodes in particular that you're like, oh, I barely got any photos? Um, uh,
There is one I've watched all of the episodes multiple times, but there is one I always lean on when I'm showing someone new, and that's Lisa's Nana. That episode is one of the best episodes of television I think in existence. Anytime Lisa's on set, I know if Vic's on set, I'm in trouble. I'm going to be laughing. If Lisa's on set and Vic is on set, I'm toast. It's going to be so hard to get a shot that's in focus. I will. I'm a professional, but it's going to be a challenge. Nana was unbelievable. I hope you've all seen it at this point, but the amount of times Lisa psyched out Vic was outstanding. And then to talk about a completely different show, the one that just came out, it was delayed for a while. Nobody asked. There is so much art I have yet to release just because the world has to see it. There is this great picture of Brian David Gilbert jumping over the finish line on the racetrack. I was up in the crow's nest shooting down. We've got Oscar with his paintball and the paintball master next to him admiring the art. Do I have. Look at that. I love it.
Yeah.
So that was very unique because that was the first one where we were on a different location every single day. And I think one of the most memorable days I have, I don't know if this is out yet, but a bunch of crew had to pile into vans. We had 3 separate vans and we had 3 separate checkpoints we had to be at to capture what was happening. And just all of these nerds weighted down with camera gear with freaking reflective vests on, just hopping out of a van like the FBI and running down the street after someone who doesn't look like they should be running. It was a wild day and it was so memorable just being crushed in that van with everybody moving fast. Go, go, go. Doors open, run. It was so exciting. I've never done anything like that. And kudos to the production team for making that happen. It was incredibly complicated. Yeah.
It's
I
super fun.
can't.
Yeah, I would say like that the Brian David Gilbert on the racetrack. I was look I when going into Nobody Asked, I expected silly nonsense, and then that made me cry, and I was like, I wasn't prepared for this. Like I wasn't prepared for actual emotions. What's happening here?
Isn't that great? They get you with the false sense of security with the humor and then they hit you right in the feels.
Yes, yeah,
Beautiful.
that's how dare they?
I know, right? It's
Yeah,
almost like they're really good at it.
almost. Yeah, it's that series was so fun. Again, another Chloe Badner set of just like color everywhere.
Incredible.
Yeah, obviously, you talked about like Coffin Run. You've shot a lot for Dimension 20 as well.
I
Did you?
love Dimension 20. That's another point I wanted to share with you. I have
Yes.
learned to army crawl. I wear shiny pants and I army crawl on the ground, double fisting cameras, and that's how I get around the set on D20 because you know those walls light up, and if you walk behind it, you're gonna. So I have to like. That's another skill I learned and another challenge, but it is so much fun. So much
Yeah.
fun. Can't really complain. Sorry, I just wanted to share that
No, no,
with you.
no. I love that. That's great. Look, that's what this is for. It's for the insider info that people don't know about. And how would anyone have assumed that you were crawling around from the ground at Dimension 20? Um,
Yeah.
it has to be like, I mean, I just assume that you're a fan of the drag world. What's it like when they bring in, or I mean, obviously, like we'll set aside Monet Exchange, like but like
Slumber Party. Sure.
yeah, Slumber Party. But like the original, like they bring in the
D
queens
and drag
now. Obviously,
queens.
they're back. And like, what
Oh
is
my
that
God.
like for just like, oh, I get to shoot not only like 4 iconic drag queens, but in like full drag.
It is amazing. There is not a prettier scene than for drag queens in a D&D dome. Funnily enough, when I found out they were coming in, I used to wear like overalls and kind of like clean sweatpants to work. But then when I heard the queens were coming in, I was like, bitch, it is time. Ultimate form, let's go. Just out of respect for the pure style they were bringing in. And that series is actually one of my favorites of all time. I've watched that 3 times because they'd never played and they not only dove in so wholeheartedly, they added so much richness to the story. And watching Brennan work with people who don't know the rules of D&D and bend them in a way where hardcore D&D fans are not going to be upset at the change, but it includes people who aren't necessarily a fan. I just hit the mic, sorry. Masterful, absolutely masterful. I was so thrilled they were coming back. And I was even more thrilled when they asked if I would be the photographer again for the key art. That meant a lot because I did some of the editing on the photos as well. So that meant the absolute world to me that they trusted me, truly. And they're so wonderful. Jujubee is hilarious. You have to be careful. She will prank you.
Is there a prank you want to share, or is that set confidential?
I mean, maybe we just have to watch and find out if it airs.
Fair enough. And also, I mean, like obviously, like full Brennan looks this season. Obviously, we had one look last season, but multiple looks this season.
Big shout out to Jenny Newman. The wardrobe. she is incredible. She also takes a lot of sleepless, passionate nights getting things done last minute because she'll have everything ready and then just have this brilliant idea right before we start shooting, and she'll just make it happen. And then she'll throw on this incredible pauldron set that she made in the last 20 minutes. Jenny's incredibly talented, and she does all the pizzazzles when they build things up. Hair and makeup comes in too, Denise and Bianca, and she's a big part of it. Honestly, there are so many things in her room that I just want to steal. But stealing's bad, so you don't do that. But there's
Right.
always like little trinkets and little shiny things, and a little fishnet, and maybe like a little dragon. It's a masterpiece what she puts together. And Brennan said he just wanted to keep up too. That's a lot to keep. Everyone put on their best when the queens came by. We knew royalty was, you get the good china out, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan's not wearing one of his 4 shirts. It's all everything's different. Yeah.
Something has to be torn. It's important. There's a ripped sleeve or like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so fun. I mean, obviously, like, and then for something like Never Stop Blowing Up, like Brendan went through pretty significant transformation as well. Just in a less drag a
Yeah.
more I guess like
Theatrical.
masculine drag, I suppose, of playing pretend at
Vesuvius
Army.
drag? Wasn't he
Yeah, there
just
you go.
like dusty? That's so funny. Here's a fun little tidbit. I don't get to go on the last few days of any of the D&D campaigns because there's too many spoilers. So I have to wait along with everybody else to see what
Oh,
happened.
oh man, and that means you have to wait even longer
Thank
because
you.
you've
I wasn't
seen
gonna
the
say.
beginning. That's just
I will
mean.
leave set and be like, well, can't wait to see what happens in 4 months.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. Do they live? Just tell me now.
So that means you have to wait. You don't know what the queens are going to do until tomorrow night. Then we're
I
a
have no
day away from
idea.
the finale. That's brutal. Tonight, when we were recording this, the most recent episode of actually just aired. I don't remember who all is on it, other than Siobhan and someone else. Obviously, there were 3 people because that's how many people are on the couch. Anyway, Iffy
Yes.
shared right before I got on. I was looking at like Instagram, and Iffy had shared your picture of everyone on the couch together.
Oh, great. Oh, great. I love that. By the
Yeah.
way, if you know a photographer and you share their photo, they're going to love you forever. The best thing that can happen to a photographer is see a photo they took of you become your profile picture. That makes our life. Oh, I love it. It warms my heart so much. I'm like, okay, good. I did a good job and it's useful. And that's really how I feel.
I love it. So, speaking of warming your heart,
Mm, my
fan
cold, dead heart.
reactions. Yes. The fan reactions to, like, I mean, like, obviously, it's one of the things. One of the things that I love about Dropout is the reason why I know who you are and like who Chloe is and like all these like Denise and Bianca and like you're throwing these names out. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've either talked to a lot of them or at least like they're on a never ending list of people that I want to talk to. And it's because Dropout does such a good job of making sure behind the scenes folks get recognized for their incredible contributions. This was supposed to be a fan related question, and then I got distracted by my own question. Look, it's very late for me here. I'm in New York
You're doing
City.
amazing.
Thanks so much.
You're doing amazing.
I left my notebook at home, so I'm running off the notes on my phone, which is not how I like to do interviews. But anyway, I like to have a really messy, weird notebook in front of me that just has like almost indecipherable notes that I have to look down at and try and figure out. Oh, that's beside the point.
That's my notes.
I love it.
You know what I admire about
yes.
you is you felt unprepared and you did it anyway. And it's hard to do hard things when you feel you're not ready for it and you did it anyway. That is awesome.
I'm really excited. Well, so here's the thing that's great for today's interview, because I have one tomorrow as well.
Hey,
Today's
who
interview, Jeremy Cobb from Three Black Halflings.
Great.
But I haven't slept in this bed yet. So today's interview looks great. Tomorrow's interview, I don't know what the bed's going to look like.
You know, housekeeping can help you with that, right?
I know they can, but I mean...
You could also just sit in the tub. And nice
true.
little reverb going.
Yeah.
So you haven't slept in the bed yet, but have you done the bed test?
Which is what?
You have to do a little run and a jump to see how much you bounce and if you like it.
Oh, I have not done that, no.
That is the official thing you do when you enter a new hotel room. I'm sorry that you're late to the game, but that is something you should immediately do. Yeah.
I ate pizza right here about
Oh,
2
cute, like a
hours
little
ago.
moving day.
Yeah. Look,
Amazing.
was there a question that I asked? Probably not. Anyway,
Yeah.
fan reactions. Do you
Yeah.
want people to tell you how much they love your work and tell you how? Do you get to hear from fans? I should say. And should
You
more
know,
fans mention that they like your stuff?
I saw that there was a shot from Game Changer with Lou, Jacob, and Vic, and it was christened the Renaissance picture. I got wind of that going viral on Reddit, and I think the actual image that got shared was a screen grab. But I took a photo of that exact moment, and in an upcoming show, there is a photo gallery up in the background, and you can see that image up there, along with all the other images up there are mine. I cried when I saw it. Let's just put it that way. But that image awakened me to the fact that there is a huge Reddit community. And I somehow have always known I would get really addicted to Reddit, so I've avoided it. But I think joining for the Dropout discussions is the perfect way to ease me in. I always loved forums. I grew up with the internet. It was so much fun, but I just never got into it. But when I saw that picture went viral, I was like, I know that's not my version of the picture, but I captured the moment that's being talked about, and that means everything to a photographer. Um, so as a photographer, I take pictures, I deliver pictures. In the last year, Dropout and Paula have expanded my responsibilities, and I'm now also doing a lot of the PR packages. I'm picking the photos, which I didn't get to do before. I'm also getting to edit them. So really, it feels like my real touch is on there. Um, and oh no, it's catching. Yes, so that's what it was. The art goes out, I see it and I squeal. But unless I'm in the same room as someone who's looking at it for the first time, I don't hear anything. It's a very strange, from like the viewers, I mean, that makes sense. Why would they even know who took the photo? But honestly, if they were like, that's a sick photo, it means the world. I work in the shadows. I'm professionally invisible. And if I'm on set and I'm going through some photos at lunch, if someone walks behind me and goes, I love that shot, the glow that just emanates. So feedback is huge for me. I'd like to know critical feedback where people think that I'm perhaps dropping the ball. We've got such incredible fans who have been around longer than me. Be like, I really envisioned it like this. Is there any way you could bring that to the higher ups as an option? Absolutely. I'd love to have those discussions. So if you could show me where to go on Reddit, I've also have some permission to share some photos now. So it'd be great to share some of those and be like, hey guys, here's a photo you may not have seen, but it's of your favorite people and they're having a great time.
That's so
I
cool.
would love to hear it. And the reason I know that is because I won't tell you which one, but I was shooting a Dropout Presents. And as I was leaving, because we had some guests, someone stopped me and they were like, that was incredibly unprofessional, but at least it was Zelda. Uh, I was stopped. I was like, Kate. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, did I like meet you at an event? Like, how do I know you? And they were like, no, you don't know us. We know you. You're the photographer on Dropout. And when you came out, we were like, oh, the Dropout photographer's here. I nearly cried right in front of them. I was like, I give big hugs. I was like, thank you so much for saying that. You really took me by surprise, and that means the world. It's just so cool to make art and get to do it for a living, and then also like other people enjoy it. I remember being a starving artist. It's nice to be a functioning artist now. It's wonderful. And yes, I'd love to hear what photos you like, what ones you don't like, and why. I'll start a Reddit account. Shoot me all your questions. I'm so into talk shop. I love photography.
Amazing. Also, Reddit, be nice. They're often
You don't
not.
have to be.
No, be
I will
nice.
match your energy.
Um, uh,
You know
um,
that.
so I take questions. I have a Patreon. Then I like post like when a new interview is coming up, and so I like get questions from people because then I don't have to do as much
Like
work.
a radio show?
Yeah, kind of.
That's so cool.
But to someone, I had several people like send in questions because people are fans of yours. And like when I said like, I think I said
Sweating.
like like interview with Kate Elliott, and they're like, oh, someone wanted to know, like, that they said they loved watching you in Good Time Society's Blood on the Clock Tower and Hyper RPG's Ten Candles, and wanted to know if you had interest in participating in stuff at Dropout beyond
That
just photography.
I love that question. Um, and I love, do you have the name of the person that sent that question?
Do it's Ryan Nupp, Rian.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you for the amazing question. Um, Gosh, that was fun. I used to do content creation I'm talking directly to Ryan now. I hope that's okay. I used to do content creation back in the day. I was an OG YouTuber. I started my account in 2007 when I was 17 years old. I did that for 10 years. So I really found a love for performing, even though I was a complete introvert and did most of it alone. That's the power of YouTube. You can do your only silly little videos by yourself. I had a webcam clipped on the back of a vacuum cleaner. Um, uh, so I've always done a little bit of performing, but it has been a long time. It's probably been about 10 years because I really dove into learning every aspect of photography that I could muster. It's fascinating. But I found the itch coming back. So I've been eyeing UCB classes and the teachers. I'm going to do that for myself this year. Very excited. Um, I have had an itch to do more fun things. I'm not an actor. I cannot remember scripts, but I'm very quick with improvising. And so, yeah, the time I had at Geek and Sundry was great. That's how I met Becca. Getting to do Blood on the Clock Tower with them was incredible. Dream come true for me to get to play with people that I've been photographing this whole time. I've been watching the games happen like on the other side of the fence. And this time I was in the playground with them. It was incredible. And what was the other one you mentioned? Not Blood on the Clock Tower. There's another one.
Hyper RPG's Ten Candles.
That one goes down in history as one of my favorite. They killed that. It was a horror. I played a couple of characters that had some really cool twists. Doing improv horror is so rad. If you ever have an opportunity to play a Ten Candles version, do. It's, for those of you who don't know, everyone dies in the end. So it's all about the story. The pressure is off. It's super
Oh, I
cool.
know Ten Candles. Yes,
It's
I've
so
talked
great.
to Brian Flaherty, who either is one of the people responsible for it, or I don't,
So he's who we blame for all the good
or he
times.
just explained it to me. It could be either.
He's relevant in the zeitgeist. That's
Yes.
important. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I really wanted to, and then Dropout was so sweet. I think, as I said, if you ever need something like a stand-in, occasionally a PA will come in and like if no one's available, I'm always on set. I'm wearing black. Just throw me in if you need something. I did actually take in something to Denzel the Alien on the VIP episode, but it ended up getting cut. I think it's because I was too awkward, which is really funny. But I just put it out there. I was like, if there's anything that comes up, I would love. I'm showing interest, and there is something I mentioned earlier, and I don't know if I managed to slip it past you, but we had to hire another photographer to come in and shoot because I was unavailable the whole day. So I'm waiting for an announcement this month. I'm on the edge of my seat. But if you want a little Easter egg, watch my 2024 photography recap on Instagram because there are hints in there. And there's been some hints on the screen here if you've noticed them, but I don't know.
Just
Oh, mystery.
It's just a mystery. The best.
Someone in the comments is like, I got this.
Yeah. Like I said, multiple fan questions. Jesse wanted to know, well, first of all, what made you go into photography, but also how many pictures do you take on average during a shoot, and has that number gone down or up over the years?
That's an incredible question also. Can you read it back to me one more time? Because that was amazing.
Well, just the general, like how
Jess.
you got into Jesse, how you got into
Jesse.
photography, and then
How I got into it,
yes,
and then yes.
and then
Um,
pictures. Are you
Wild.
taking more pictures or fewer pictures these
That's a
days?
very this person has photography knowledge, so they know the struggle. Um, I got into photography because I was a videographer for about 10 years, so I was quite versed with cameras, lighting, blocking, all that good jazz. Photography was a challenge to me because there's a lot more you can get away with a moving picture than you can with a still. And I love learning things that are really hard for some reason. I'll cry the whole time that I'm learning, but I'm so glad to be learning. Um, and wait, what the hell? This is ADHD. It's very real. Um, that's what it was. I wanted the challenge. I started doing street photography for fun, taking pictures of friends, and discovered I absolutely loved it. Quickly learned my passion is portraiture, which is perfect for doing stuff like this. And I did that for about 5 years. I was working events, one-off productions, meeting people, hanging with them for a week, and then never seeing them again. It was so sad. Um, and I realized every other interest I have in my life kind of has an expiration date. There's only so many outdoor adventures I can do before my body can't keep up with it, you know? But photography, no matter my state, as long as I can use one arm and one eye, I can do this forever. And I would like to do that because I also have a bad memory. It's nice to have visual reminders. Um, and then as for the amount of photos, oh, hell, you have to work on that. When you start, you should absolutely be taking way too many photos. I think I was taking about 4 to 5,000 images a day. And that's also because I was using bursts. So if someone's laughing, here's 3 separate images that you get from a burst of someone laughing. You have to burst and find the one everyone blinks like a chameleon. Everyone's one or the other. So you have to burst to get the perfect one. So it was thousands and thousands and gigs. I have a lot of hard drives. Now I think when I'm on set, I've managed to cut that back by about half. On average, a 12-hour day is about 2,000 photos if I'm not doing key art too. But the easiest way I would describe it is when you're starting out taking photos, try and get 1 in 25 to a place where you like. As you get better, make that 1 in 15, then 1 in 10. I'm at 1 in 10, and I think that's an average for most people. So it doesn't get easier. You get better.
I love that. I was actually
Yeah.
one of the other things that I was curious about. If you had advice for folks out there who either want to go into photography or videography, what other than what you just said, which is great advice, do you have other advice for folks?
Absolutely. I was asked this a lot when I was a YouTuber and I did interviews about that back in the day. And my answer was always do what you love and create something that you enjoy consuming. Then it is a guarantee other people will enjoy it too. And if you are unforgivably yourself and vulnerably yourself, you will not only attract people, you will attract the right people to you. Everything is slow, everything's a grind. Do not give up your day job until you can make this your full-time job. You can do stuff on the side. You are going to work for free sometimes. You just have to decide what your comfort level is with that. Set boundaries within yourself. Respect what you do, respect everyone you work with. Be aware that everyone else on set knows something you don't. So always listen to everyone else and ask people about their passions and share yours. Their life is really long. There was a time 10 years ago where I thought I was just done. I'd achieved a lot of my dreams at the time, and it was this weird void of I don't know what to do now. But now 10 years later, I'm working this job, which may be one of the best jobs I've ever had in my entire life, with the best people I've ever known, doing the coolest shit. So it's corny and cliche, but there's a reason people say it. Don't give up your passion. Take care of yourself. If you're going to have a long night up working, which you will do and you may be unpaid for it, hydrate, eat food, get a cuddly blanket, light a candle, take care of yourself. It's going to be hard work, but with hard work comes great reward. And the harder you work, the luckier you get, which is what I believe happened to me in getting into Dropout. So don't give up your dream, but don't give up your J job yet either. You got this.
I love that. That's such good advice, and feels appropriate for like a lot of what I've done on this channel, which is just like, what if I just kept talking about things I liked, and eventually people showed up, and eventually Sam
Yes.
noticed, weirdly enough. Uh, uh, but
Senpai.
yeah, um, you mentioned There is an episode. Look, it's an episode of Game Changer where there's a photography wall. I know that because I've seen behind the scenes, and there's a picture pig in a top hat. Wow, a pig in a top hat is in front of it. The pig's back.
Oh, yeah,
How
good. Yeah.
excited for you to take more
Oh,
pictures of Henry the pig?
total surprise to everyone. I don't know how they kept him quiet the whole time. When he walked on stage, everyone was surprised he was there and thrilled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. What is it? What is? I mean, obviously, it's got to be different when you're shooting photography of an animal. I don't. Do you have animal photography experience, or is?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I have a very cute dog myself. He is a 12-year-old Shih Tzu who weighs 10 pounds. He's very cute, hates pictures, so I had to get good at getting good pictures of him. Um, it's actually pretty easy. I have a pretty good rapport with animals. They tend to come up to me. So the biggest problem I have with shooting animals is they get too close for my long lenses. Um, I always expect I'll need the long one, but then they come up snuffling, and it's like, well, I can't. Oh, dang it! 200 mil. Um, but it's a blast. They're always because they're show trained. They're always so professional. Very professional animals. They cause no problems. They're very polite. They put up with a lot of pets. It's just imagine you're working in your office and then a pig in a cowboy hat walks in and you're like, this is normal.
A dream job.
Yeah,
It's really funny. I talked to Vic after. It's right before that episode, the first episode, the Sam Says 3 episode aired. And sorry, I talked to them after that episode aired, before the behind the scenes aired, in like that week. And Vic didn't remember that they got to look at the pig. So like I asked them, and like we were chatting, and I was like, "Did you ever get to look at the pig?" They're like, "No, Sam never let us look at the pig." And then obviously, like the behind the scenes comes out, and Sam's like, "You can look at the pig now." And it seems to be a really common theme is that like people fully black out and have no memory of what happens on set.
100%.
Is that also your experience taking
100%.
pictures? Are you going back to your pictures and you're like, I don't remember any of this?
I don't remember until I see it. Because that's the wild thing. Memory works so strangely. The pandemic felt so long to us because we didn't log a lot of memories. A lot of days were the same and our brains just went, not important. But on a set like this, especially if you're changing locations, it feels like you have 4 or 5 days in one. So not only is your brain confused, like, should my circadian rhythm be working right now? But on top of that, oh my God, babe, what was it?
Do you forget what happens on set?
That's what happened. Yeah, I went into the reset. I went into my mind palace in the forget room, and the second I closed the door, I just forgot. I would equate shooting on set at a high octane production to what I imagine it would be like on your wedding day. You know you were there are pictures, but can you remember any of it? Maybe like moments? It's just such a blur. There's a lot of adrenaline for them as well. And occasionally for me, but not as much. Sometimes I have to run quietly, which is really hard. But it's the constant flow and the change. And especially with a show like Game Changer, you don't know what's going to happen next. A lot of crew don't even get to know, so it's a surprise. So yeah, it's hard to remember everything that happened in one day. I'm trying to think of something right now. 2 things got destroyed. There were 4 animals. There were athletes and a musical thing. I don't know any of that was happening. It just happened. It's amazing. It's magic. It really is. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Kate, thank you so much. If people on the internet want to come find you so that they can see your incredible photography, they can go watch that 2024 recap video and try to go frame by frame until they find every possible
Easter eggs.
Where can they find you on the internet?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have 3 things. I would love for you to follow me on Instagram at Kate in Real Life. You can watch that 2024 recap. It's got a lot of Dropout stuff in it because I worked all year at Dropout. The second thing I would like to say is, if you haven't already, I assume you have if you're watching this, but go subscribe, maybe get a friend a subscription to Dropout. I just got my dad to subscribe, and he's a wonderful man. He lives alone and he likes it that way, but he loves entertainment and he needed some laughs. And I logged him in, and he has been hooked for the last 4 days. If you're low on dopamine, you want some friendly voices, a giggle, you want to get creative, something even just in the background while you're working, Dropout. Dropout.tv or the app. And then while you're there, you can look at all of the art that's there. And obviously, I will work with Paula Searing, who is the lead graphic designer, and then a team of freelance graphic artists. So they're my photos, it's their art. But I would love to hear what one you love the most. And just to me, don't tell Dropout, this is just to me, which one you didn't like the most. I love hearing. I'm not looking for a yes man situation. I would love a roundtable discussion. And the third thing that I would like to ask you to do, if you haven't already and you haven't been affected by it, please go to GoFundMe. There's also a lot of lists that have been compiled to help people that were affected by the LA fires, who lost their homes, were denied insurance, and have nowhere to go. And they've lost everything. So there's a bunch of GoFundMe fundraisers up. Please take a minute to donate anything you can. Everything helps. Just imagine you've lost everything and then someone sends you $5. Bless you, Angel. I managed to do a fundraiser last week where we raised $1,000 to go through and donate to GoFundMe, which is great. But I think we have a lot of power here to do even more. And only if you can afford it and it makes you comfortable. But I would do that, please. And if not that, please pick a charity of your choice. I also really like supporting wildlife and animal charities. There is a lot of wildlife that was affected by the fires too. So wherever it makes you feel comfortable, and tell me where you donated to so I can add it to my list of charities. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. What a lovely time.
This was absolutely delightful. The joy was all on this side of the camera. Thank you so much. I don't know how to end an interview, so I'm just going to hit stop recording.
Well, I have an end. And that's me clocking off work. Goodbye.